She Don't Love Me. I don't know where I'm going. Hey guys, so Thought Awkward Izzy here. Today I'm going to be reviewing the first EP for the band Losing Face. It's called Crude and Crass. I really liked this band on first listen because their lyrics were poetic and their melodies, just like the instrumentals do, they really captured the mood of a blues song, of an indie song, of a psychedelic rock. They know how to capture it, they know how to paint the picture, and they're really good at it. In past releases, they kind of took on a psychedelic rock, indie, and blues genre. In this EP, they kind of took on a bit of hard rock, I want to say. I'm not too keen with music genres. Anyway, it wasn't really what I usually listen to or usually enjoy, so I was debating whether I should do this, but I was like, you know what? I listened to it already, I told myself I was going to review it, we're going to do it. When I first heard about the release of this EP, I was really excited. I loved their first two singles, Lunar Illusion and Hear Her Weep. I wasn't too big of a fan of Hear Her Weep, but upon listening to it again in preparation for this review, it was actually really solid, and I thought it's one of the best they've released so far, actually. The lyrics in the different parts of Hear Her Weep, albeit simple, were actually really solid. I'm not a huge fan of the guitar solos in the songs on this EP, but in Hear Her Weep, the guitar was probably the best I've ever heard it out of anything I've heard from them. Lunar Illusion was really good, but it was also at the same time kind of basic. I loved the instrumentals, I loved the mood of the song, I loved the lyrics, but I wish that it was a bit more complex, if that makes any sense. Even though the lyrics are poetic, there are a few times where I feel like they could be stronger. They could go deeper, a few of them are pretty repetitive. They'll sometimes repeat the same lyric multiple times, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. It depends on how you pull it off. I guess it's one way also the structure of the song is basic. I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's like you're reading a poem, but you only get to see certain parts of the stanzas, and not like you only get to read half the poem. I mean, like, you get to read this stanza, you don't see this one, you get to read this one, you don't see the next two. But other than that, they really do know how to capture the mood of their chosen genre, and they're really good at, especially the bass lines are probably my favorite part about this music, and the drums are also really, really good. They've always done a really good job of holding their genre and holding the mood across all the songs they've released, and this shows on this EP. Again, they're really good at getting the instruments to embody what they're trying to get out of the songs, and this shows really well, especially in songs like She Don't Love Me Anymore. I really enjoyed the raw sound of the album, and I especially liked how the vocals sounded more like one person. It fits well with the message of the song because, again, it's like someone crying out for someone to listen to them, and they're alone. They want someone to pay attention to them. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the loudness of it, compared to a lot of other artists that I've seen do similar things, the lead singer does pull the loudness off really well, for the most part. Upon asking the band, I'm not sure who I was talking to in this case, but I asked the band on Instagram how they felt about this EP, and they said, "We are all proud of the EP. Compared to our last releases, this one is more intricate, both production-wise and musically. We're proud of the fact that we produced it all in a spare room of a house, with only the members of the band contributing to the work. It's just a nice proof of the concept that we know what we're doing and are willing to prove it to other people. Our next release is going to be even better." I like their ambition. I was disappointed on first listen, but listening to it again in preparation for this review, I found a lot more things that I enjoyed a lot more, and even though I don't like all the songs on the album, I do have to agree that this was a pretty solid release, and most of the songs, even though I'm not a fan of them, were actually really good. There was one song that I still really, really enjoy, and I am looking forward to later releases, and I'm still going to keep up with them, because there will be times, and there have been times, again, that I have kind of been like, it's not that good, it's not that okay, I don't know if I like them anymore, but then there's that one part of it that I'm like, you know what, I really like this, and even though I'm not a huge fan of most of what they do, there are those parts that I really love and I really enjoy. And I'm looking forward to their later releases and how they go through with this. And now we're going to get into a review of the actual tracks of the songs. Just to warn you, I did not listen to 2 of the songs off this album. Really, there are only 2 songs on this album that are clean to me. Again, I am LDS, I do not listen to songs that swear, I do not listen to songs that talk about sex or drugs. I listened to 3 of them because I wasn't sure about the 3rd song because there have been no lyrics. I can't just look them up on Google, so I just kind of played the song and I had to hope that it was clean. So I did listen to 1 song that I don't normally listen to, so I am only going to be talking about 3 of them. The first song I'm going to talk about is She Don't Love Me Anymore. This is the one song that I can really say that I enjoy out of all of the songs on this EP. The bass line at the beginning is really solid. I like that they slowly add more instruments. They build up to, first they have the bass, then they have the drums, then they have the guitar kick in. I really like how they did that. The riff is pretty catchy. It fits well with the song. The lyrics were also really good. I wish the bridge was a bit stronger though, not based on lyrics or melodies. Those were both really good. I just wish that the instrumentals in the background kind of got maybe quieter, maybe they got a little different, maybe... I wish they kind of changed it a little bit more. It seemed a bit more like just saying, oh yeah, this is a sign we're going into the bridge, instead of actually like changing the bridge up, if that makes any sense. I do love the lead into the final chorus though. That was really great. Probably my favorite part about this song is that they repeat "She Don't Love Me." When I first heard the song, I was kind of thinking, yeah, this is really repetitive, get on with it, you don't need to repeat this that many times. But after listening to it again, that's actually one of the best parts about the song, is that they repeat that, because thinking of the message of this song, She Don't Love Me Anymore, the fact that he's repeating it, it makes it stronger. And the melody and how it changes as he repeats it, it matches perfectly the feelings that he's portraying in the lyrics. The next song I'm going to talk about is Honey, Listen Closely. This song, it was pretty good, but I'm not a huge fan of it. There was a raw sound at the beginning, and it reminds me kind of like you're listening to an older song, or maybe a song on an older radio, and then the vocals kick in and they sound clear. It's kind of like you're in water in a way. It reminds me of The Queen is Dead by the Smiths, where they start off the song with the puppets in the background and they're kind of echoey, like they're not really with you, they're kind of somewhere else, but you can still hear them. It reminds me of kind of like how you're floating through water and the vocals are the only thing that you can hear clearly. And I feel like that fits really well with the purpose of the song, Listen Closely. I need you to listen to me. And again, that's one message that they portray in this EP. I want you to listen to me. There was quite a bit of yelling that I wasn't really a fan of again. A few of the lyrics were repetitive, but it wasn't terrible. It's like, I wish there was a bit more variety to the lyrics, but at the same time, when I think about it and I actually put the lyrics in context, I understand why they were so repetitive, and even though I do wish, again, that there was a bit more variety, it does fit well with the purpose of the song, and I can respect it. Another thing I have to say, when I was listening to this, and I was actually paying attention to the lyrics, I was thinking about it, and I got into the chorus, and the first half, I was like, you know what, this is really, really good, and then I thought it ended, but it went with another half of the chorus, and then it started repeating one line over and over again. I was like, I really wish they had kept it shorter, because I feel like that could have been stronger, because since it's so long, I feel like it just kind of drags on too long. If they had repeated the last line maybe once, so like sing it twice, it would have been fine, but mainly because of the big gap between each repetition, it just seemed, again, like it went on too long with the 4 times they sung it, I think it was. I do have to say, I love how this song ends. After the last chorus, it seems like the song has ended, and it it seems to like leave you there. But then they come through and they start singing a few of the lyrics again. Honey, listen closely. And then they end off with the drums crashing. It's like, again, the song, Honey, Listen Closely, they're trying to get you to listen to them, and they leave you, and then they come in back with this final word that they have to say, and then end it strong. I really loved how they did that. The last song I'm going to talk about is Bliss. I enjoyed this song listening to it, but at the same time, the words again blend together, and there were quite a few parts. Most of the song, actually, they seem to blend together, and it's hard to understand. It makes it come off a bit lazy. I don't really want to say lazy. Kind of empty in a way. And when you're singing, it's a lot easier to do that, hence the reason why you need to spit out your consonants. Especially at the beginning, I can't really understand exactly what they were trying to say, but once the guitar kicks in, I thought that was a good addition. As for the melody, it's a good melody, except that the vocals, in a way, when they go really, really low, it doesn't really sound like, okay, we're going low, we're over here, and we know what we're doing. It sounds more like, oh, okay, we want to go low, so we're going low. And then the same thing with going high, they seem more like, okay, we're going high now, instead of like, we know what we're doing. They're just not focused, in a way. I kind of like the bridge, ignorance is bliss, and they repeat that. I like how they repeat that, but again, the loudness I'm not a huge fan of, but that's personal preference. And the scream at the end I did think was a little weird. Even for this type of music and this type of vocals, it still seemed pretty weird. Other than my personal complaints, because again, I don't normally like these types of songs, this was a really solid ending track. It was a great way to close the EP. And again, although I'm not a huge fan of it, I really did enjoy listening to it. And it is a really solid release. I just wish, again, that the vocals were a bit more focused in a way. All in all, I really did enjoy this EP, although, again, it's not really my type of music. I do, again, really love She Don't Love Me Anymore. But overall, based on my opinion, I'm gonna have to give this rating a 6. And this is taking into account my opinion and also keeping in mind that, again, I'm not really a huge fan of this genre, even though I know there are a lot of people who do enjoy this genre. So taking that into account, and then again, my personal opinion, it's pretty good, but at the same time, for me, I can't give it a higher rating. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thanks guys for watching, and peace out. Okay, so